What's the difference between a milestone and a millstone? Well, we know the millstone will be tied around the neck of those who didn't behave properly and led those others into sin. I was praying this morning in my meditation with St. Gregory the Great in his pastoral rule, and he talks about the millstone. He says, "No one does more harm in the church than one who has the name and rank of sanctity while he acts perversely." And we've all seen the damage that's been done in the church over the past years, throughout the history of the church, by those who have not set an example with their life of that which they preach. A milestone, on the other hand, is a significant moment. Obviously, historically, a milestone, there were markers put along a road in order to mark the distance that you passed. Also as a marker so you wouldn't get lost, that you knew that you were on the right path towards the destination that you sought. In modern business terms, a milestone is something that you set as a fixed point where we're going to try to achieve this objective or this goal. In our formation and our preparation for the priesthood, we set milestones. You have candidacy, then we have novitiate, then we have profession of vows, then we go to Rome to study philosophy, then we go out to internship. So we have milestones along the way that prepare us for what? For the priesthood, right? No. Brothers, don't set the wrong goal. Ordination is not the culmination. Because what God is calling us to is fullness of life in Him. We are called to union with God. We're called to follow His call in our lives. And the simple fact of profession of vows or ordination to the priesthood or perpetual profession, that's not the destination. So don't get sidetracked. What is the goal of our lives? It is union with God. It's to follow His will. A mistake that some of the priests who were ordained with Father Christopher and I 16 years ago was to set ordination as the culmination. To see the priesthood as about what you do. They were all excited about being able to celebrate Mass and hear confessions and preach and do all these wonderful things and counsel couples. They were all excited about the stuff that they would do. But priesthood is not about what you do. It's about who you are. The Ratio has a beautiful way of phrasing this. It's in number 103 to 105. It says, hay muchas maneras de acercarse al misterio del sacerdocio de Cristo. El legionario se siente particularmente llamado a acoger este don como alter Christus, identificando más y más su corazón con el corazón de Cristo, para que sea Él quien resplandezca a través de su pobre humanidad. A legionary feels particularly the call to live out the priesthood as alter Christus, another Christ. It's not about what we do, it's about who we are. And the path of formation that you brothers are on, the path that we as priests are on, is not a path of doing stuff. It's a path of becoming more and more like Jesus Christ, to be fully identified with Him. Number 104 continues. Por eso todo el espíritu apostólico y misionero del legionario parte de su espíritu contemplativo, de las largas horas de oración con las que imita el ejemplo de Cristo orante, sabiendo que la obra del reino en los corazones es una obra sobrenatural que se construye sobre todo intercediendo por los hombres ante el Padre. So for the novices who are still working on your Spanish, that's why the whole apostolic and missionary spirit of a legionary begins from the contemplative spirit, from the long hours of prayer with which he imitates the example of Christ praying, knowing that the work of the kingdom in the hearts is a supernatural work which is built above all, interceding for mankind before the Father. And number 105 says it in a most powerful way. Esa misión llega a su perfección al morir por los hombres. Not by celebrating Mass, not by hearing confessions, not by preaching and get lots of crowds all excited about how wonderful you preach. No, that mission comes to its perfection when you die. When you die for those souls that you are serving. El sacerdote está especialmente llamado a crucificarse con Cristo. Brothers, that's the ideal. That is to what we are called as we imitate and become an alter Christus as a priest. To die, to be crucified with Christ. And this is not mere poetry, brothers. 5 years ago, on this day, I was stuck in Atlanta. I couldn't come for the territorial get-together because I was dying of cancer. Multiple myeloma. Still have it. It's an incurable cancer. Thanks be to God, it's in remission right now. And never, ever did I experience the fruitfulness of my priesthood as in those months when I could do nothing. I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself. I had to wear a diaper for a time because I lost my GI system and I pooped my pants at every step. It's a humiliating experience as a man. In those months of offering up my suffering and my prayer, I experienced the greatest fruitfulness of my priesthood. And that's what we are called to. The world doesn't need more social workers. It doesn't need more social media gurus. It doesn't need more people full of themselves in this narcissistic world. It needs men who are ready to follow Jesus Christ and to be crucified with him on the cross. As we continue this Mass, we remember the prayer that we will pray in just a moment, the prayer of the offerings, of the gifts on the altar. We will pray in Latin, so you may not know the translation. We come eagerly with our offerings, and we are cleansed by the very mysteries that we serve. So today in the readings, we heard about the offering of Hannah, of her child Samuel, the offering of the Blessed Virgin Mary with her body and all of her self-determination says, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord." And each one of us comes with the offering of our total self, living in poverty, chastity, and obedience, not seeking anything for ourselves, but offering it all, and knowing in the very offering, in the totality of our self-gift, we find everything. We receive everything. We experience the joy and the plenitude that God has for us as his priests and future priests.